Highly vibrational people carry an aura of mystery and power, don't they? They seem like they've got it all figured out, always calm, always centered, always radiating positive energy. But what if the truth about their lives isn't as serene as it appears? Beneath the surface, they face challenges that most wouldn't expect, grappling with overwhelming expectations and a constant pressure to stay spiritually aligned. It's easy to think that reaching a high vibration means leaving all struggles behind, but in reality, the weight of maintaining this state can be more exhausting than anyone imagines. What if I told you that spiritual burnout is a common reality for these individuals, pushing them to their emotional limits while they try to help everyone around them? Or that their focus on higher consciousness often alienates them from material success, leaving them feeling conflicted and isolated? The struggles of highly vibrational people run deeper than we think, and the scary part is how easy it is for them to fall into emotional isolation, without anyone noticing. Ready to uncover the hidden side of this spiritual journey? 1. Overwhelming personal expectations. Highly vibrational people often carry the weight of self-imposed expectations, constantly striving for spiritual perfection. They believe every moment must contribute to their growth, leaving little room for the natural ebb and flow of life. This overwhelming pressure can manifest as emotional isolation in spirituality, where they push themselves so hard that they forget even the most enlightened souls need rest. Spiritual burnout creeps in when they neglect to recharge, mistaking stillness for stagnation. The irony is that this relentless pursuit of progress can leave them feeling more disconnected than aligned. In their quest for constant elevation, highly vibrational individuals may overlook the importance of embracing imperfection. They're taught that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, but this can backfire when they fail to meet their own lofty expectations. The resulting emotional toll is heavy, especially when they measure themselves against spiritual ideals that feel unattainable. Spiritual burnout becomes inevitable when they refuse to acknowledge that spiritual paths are filled with ups and downs. It's the human experience, after all, flawed, unpredictable, and beautiful in its imperfection. What's particularly challenging is that these individuals often compare their journey to others, feeding into the overwhelming expectations for spiritual people. They may witness others seemingly ascending with ease, which only adds fuel to the fire of their own self-doubt. The emotional isolation that comes from this constant comparison can be devastating, making them feel as though they're falling behind. The reality is that everyone's spiritual path is different, and moments of struggle are just as sacred as moments of breakthrough. 2. Alienation from material success. Highly vibrational people often find themselves at odds with the material world, seeing financial success and career advancement as distractions from their spiritual path. Their focus is so intensely geared toward higher consciousness that the mundane aspects of life, like money or possessions, seem irrelevant. This alienation from material success can create a sense of guilt when they do engage in worldly pursuits, as if they're betraying their own spiritual ideals. Yet, balancing both realms is key, and ignoring the material side of life can lead to financial instability that only increases stress and spiritual burnout. The tricky part is that this disconnect from material success often creates a conflict within them. They yearn for spiritual fulfillment but feel the societal pressure to conform to material standards. The overwhelming expectations for spiritual people to always be above such concerns only add to the internal struggle. This alienation doesn't mean they should abandon financial or professional goals, but they must redefine success in a way that aligns with their spiritual values. After all, material abundance can coexist with spiritual growth if approached with balance and intention. What many highly vibrational individuals don't realize is that alienation from material success can also lead to emotional isolation in spirituality. They may feel disconnected from friends or family who prioritize wealth or status, causing relationships to strain. The pursuit of enlightenment shouldn't mean cutting ties with the material world entirely. Instead, finding harmony between spiritual and material success can create a life that's both fulfilling and grounded, allowing them to thrive in both dimensions. 3. Resistance to help or support. Highly vibrational people are often seen as pillars of strength in their communities, the ones others turn to for guidance and healing. Yet, this very role can trap them in a cycle of self-reliance, where they resist seeking help or support for themselves. Feeling the weight of overwhelming expectations for spiritual people, they may fear that admitting vulnerability could diminish their perceived spiritual authority. This emotional isolation in spirituality builds over time, as they suppress their own needs to maintain an image of constant strength. The result? Spiritual burnout becomes inevitable when they carry everyone else's burdens but neglect their own well-being. What many don't see is that these individuals often feel an immense responsibility to always have the answers. They resist asking for help because they believe it's their role to provide solutions, not seek them. But resisting support creates a paradox. They lose the balance between giving and receiving, an essential part of any spiritual journey. Highly vibrational people may benefit greatly from allowing themselves to be vulnerable, realizing that even those on a spiritual path need rest and renewal. By accepting help, they can prevent emotional exhaustion and maintain their vibrational frequency without the constant pressure to be invincible. This self-imposed isolation can lead to unintended consequences, like burnout or feeling disconnected from their own purpose. In their quest to be spiritual leaders, they may forget that vulnerability is a form of strength. When they resist seeking support, they distance themselves from the very community they seek to uplift. Allowing others to help them, however, strengthens both their connections and their spiritual journey. It's not about losing authority, it's about fostering a deeper, more authentic connection with those around them and, most importantly, with themselves. 4. Unconscious dismissal of others' struggles. Highly vibrational people often possess a deep sense of empathy, yet this empathy can sometimes lead to an unconscious dismissal of others' struggles. They may be so focused on the idea that raising one's vibration is the solution to all problems that they overlook the real, tangible challenges others are facing. When advising someone to just raise their vibration, they may unintentionally come across as dismissive of the emotional depth of the situation. This mindset, while well-intentioned, can create emotional isolation in spirituality, making others feel misunderstood or unheard. It's a delicate balance between offering spiritual guidance and fully validating someone's experience. In many cases, these individuals see the world through a higher lens, focusing on energetic states rather than physical realities. But in doing so, they may unintentionally downplay the real-life obstacles that people encounter, like financial struggles, health issues, or emotional trauma. This unconscious dismissal can create distance between highly vibrational people and those who are looking for practical solutions. What they need to realize is that offering a listening ear or suggesting actionable steps, rather than just spiritual advice, can be just as powerful in helping someone overcome their struggles. There's an irony here: by always focusing on elevating others, highly vibrational people may alienate themselves from those they're trying to help. The overwhelming expectations for spiritual people to always have the perfect advice can cloud their ability to offer grounded support. Encouraging others to embrace both spiritual and practical approaches can bridge this gap. Sometimes, the most profound way to help someone is to acknowledge their pain first, before suggesting any form of spiritual intervention. 5. Difficulty letting go of toxic connections. Even though highly vibrational people possess the awareness to recognize negative energies, they often struggle with letting go of toxic connections. They feel an innate responsibility to heal and uplift others, believing that their high vibration can transform even the most harmful relationships. This belief, while admirable, can lead to spiritual burnout as they invest time and energy in trying to fix those who may not want to change. The overwhelming expectations for spiritual people to always be the healer can trap them in emotionally draining dynamics, preventing them from realizing that it's not their role to save everyone. What's tricky is that these individuals often view every relationship as part of their spiritual journey, seeing lessons even in the most toxic situations. While there's value in learning from difficult connections, staying too long in unhealthy relationships can cause more harm than growth. Emotional isolation in spirituality can develop as they distance themselves from healthier, more balanced interactions in favor of trying to heal toxic ones. Learning to let go is not a failure but an act of self-preservation, one that allows them to focus on their own spiritual alignment and avoid burnout. This difficulty in cutting ties stems from a deep sense of compassion and a desire to see others rise. However, there's a fine line between compassion and self-sacrifice. When highly vibrational people prioritize the healing of others over their own well-being, they risk becoming trapped in an endless cycle of toxic exchanges. Sometimes, the most spiritually aligned choice is to walk away, allowing both parties the space to heal independently. Letting go doesn't mean abandoning someone, it means trusting that their journey is unfolding as it should, without the need for constant intervention. So, after everything you've learned about the lives of highly vibrational people, what resonates most with you? Are you surprised by how much emotional isolation and spiritual burnout can creep into their lives, despite their outwardly calm appearance? It's a lot to take in, and it makes you wonder, could you be carrying some of these hidden burdens yourself without even realizing it? The truth is, spiritual paths are full of unexpected challenges, and the key is knowing how to navigate them without losing yourself in the process. The big question now is, how will you apply these insights to your own spiritual journey? Will you continue to push yourself beyond your limits, or will you recognize when it's time to seek help, let go of toxic connections, and redefine success on your own terms? There's so much more to explore on this topic, and the journey is far from over. Highly vibrational people have the power to change the world, but they need to learn how to balance that power with self-care, resilience, and the wisdom to know when to let go. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss out on more insights like these. Continue expanding your consciousness by watching the recommended video that you see on the screen right now.